What is up, fellow benchwarmers? Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Benchwarmers. We are going to talk about Week 15 schedule, the day of the Judgment Day. And I'm your host, JJT, with Kamish Eric. Kamish, how was Week 14 for you? Was it good?
Better. Yeah, it was good. Better.
Better than expected. I thought that, I only had, a couple of really bad losses, but the rest were close. 4-5, 5-4, and had some good wins too, like a 6-7-2 win, 6-3, 6-3. So
my
overall, it was better.
my Jokic teams struggled as expected. He missed the last two games of the week with a hamstring problem. So I lost 4-5 in most of my Jokic team. Actually, I was lucky to still get 4-5 in those teams. That is the big news for me. No, Jokic missing two games is very, very crucial. So I guess the hamstring is not, is bothering him. Hopefully, this 2 game rest will be enough and it won't become a Yanis situation where Yanis missed. I think Yanis will come back tomorrow, but he's gonna miss more or less 2 weeks. Now, if you count from the time he was out. So I hope Jokic will not reach that point because it's gonna be hard for Jokic owners like us.
Yeah. So today, let's talk about Week 15. So Week 14 is done. Week 15 is not going to be as crazy as week 14. Pretty evenly matched, or at least the games are pretty evenly spread. But there will be 3 teams with just 2 games. And I don't know what's up with Philly, but I think a couple of weeks ago they also had like a 2 game
Yeah.
2 game week. So this week, week 15, it's Golden State, OKC, and Philly having 2 games, and the rest spread out between 4 and 3 games each for all those teams. And then, going straight to the quality game days, we have a couple, and interestingly, it's a Saturday Manila time. And not a Friday. Usually it's a Friday. Saturday and a Monday on Judgment Day. It's going to be 5 games on Saturday, 4 games on Monday. But the Friday Manila time there will also only be 6 games for you. So it's kind of spread out in such a way. There seemingly will be lesser games.
Yes, there are lesser games overall. But if you look at the breakdown, you really have to probably reserve most of your streaming moves for the last 4 days. No, 3 of the last 4 days. Especially that Judgment Day and that basically yeah, 3 of the last 4 days.
Yeah.
You it will be hard to catch up if you don't have moves. No, so this week my strategy would probably be not to use up all my moves right away to start the week and see how it goes early on. Hopefully, keep it close in most categories, and then look at teams or players that have a pretty good schedule the latter part of the week, which is the last 4 days.
Yeah. Usually, what I also do is I only, because our leagues have only 4 moves, right? So what I usually do is I add in the first 2 3 days. I don't really use much of my moves unless there's a must-add player, like players who I feel will really help me throughout the week, or a player that has potential to be a medium-term hold. Um, if not, I'm not gonna use much of my moves. Just play it out, see what happens in the first couple of weeks, couple of days, and then maybe on the third day start making one move, and then on the look at the quality game days and see if there will be players that are available for those days, right? Particularly this on Saturday.
I
Back
have
to back.
I have a similar strategy with you. I do that also. I
Yeah,
don't add right away.
yeah. Unless it's really a must-add player, right? Someone that was dropped and suddenly became a very important piece in their teams. Back to backs. We'll just run through the back to backs. Memphis, Portland will have a back to back, so it's a little bit late to uh, take note of that, but important thing also to consider, because some of the stars might rest. But the start of week 15, Boston, Charlotte, Chicago will have a back-to-back Tuesday to Wednesday, Manila time. Wednesday to Thursday, it's Denver, Indiana, Lakers, New Orleans, and Washington. Thursday, Friday, Brooklyn, Houston, San Antonio. Friday, Saturday, only one team with a back-to-back. That's Cleveland. Saturday, Sunday, Minnesota, Orlando, Toronto. Sunday, Monday, the Clippers, New Orleans, and then none on the transition week to week 16. Oh my goodness, we are just a few weeks away from fantasy playoffs. Week 6, no back-to-backs on that transition week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worst schedule. Well, obviously the teams with 2 games probably have the worst schedule. All the obvious worst schedule, but any other teams other than that were in the schedule you don't like?
I think the Lakers and the Knicks, no, they do have 3 games, but all of their games, none of them in the quality days. They have tough matchups. The Lakers have the Clippers to start, and they have the Celtics to end. I think this week, if I'm not mistaken. The Knicks also not good in terms of the where the games landed. Now, usually when you have 3 games, you hope that most of the games would be in the quality days. That helps you even if in just 3 games, but that's not the case for just 2. In terms of OKC, Philly, Golden State, Philly, every time they play, they get a 2-day break this week. So that's really bad because it's tough to. It's like sometimes when you have a 2-game week, like OKC or Golden State, they have a quality day and they only have a 1-day break. So usually after the second game, you can drop them.
Yeah.
Or maybe before the first game, you can drop some of the players. Like I have a question for you. Like 3 players I mentioned there was Melton, Dort, and Looney. These guys are. It's tough. Will you drop the guys or not? Especially Melton. I mean, he just came off a very very good game. Although that was without Harden and Embiid, but I don't know. I don't know your take on that, but uh,
I
I know you don't like that.
Well, not as much. I don't have. I couldn't think of a team in head-to-head wherein I have them. I maybe just one. But it's a pretty decent team in a sense that I can still wait on, and hold him for a bit longer. But in some of the 14-team leagues, I don't have him. Yeah, I don't. I hate that 2-day break in between. Um, it's like if you try to add a player from those teams, like say Philly, it's like you waste a move, right? You add a player
Yeah.
from Philly, and then they don't play for the next 2 games. So you just use that player for just 1 game. You probably do that towards the end of the week, but not really in the week, because what will happen there is that if you add a player for Philly and then they have a 2-game break, you use another move. So that's 2 moves already in the first 2-3 days, right? And I don't like doing those kinds of things, especially if we have limited moves, which is 4 moves in our league. So
But to answer my own question, I think I'll drop Melton, Dort, and Looney. Tough, but just have to do it. There's really no choice for this week. These guys, especially Dort, Looney, I may be on the fence because he's been giving the rebounds at least.
yeah,
But Dort, if he gives you 1 out of 8 or 1 out of 9 in one of those 2 games, you want to kill him. I mean, she's gonna give you 2 games and gonna destroy your field goal.
yeah, yeah. And just in case you want to feel better, I've seen a few Meltons already drop. I've seen a few Looney there in the waiver wire, and actually, surprisingly, not a lot of Dorts. But yeah, maybe I'm not focusing on him anyway, because not really on my radar. But yeah, they have been droppable. Well, at least Melton and Melton has been droppable over the past
The
week.
the good news is, on the other hand, if Jalen Williams, for instance, is dropped, or even Melton, maybe if you're number 1, you can add them
Yeah,
and see where it goes. No, I think the 2 of them from OKC and then from Philly, they can be sneaky for you. The latter part of the playoffs. So let's see.
Yeah.
Can take advantage of this.
Teams with good schedule. Cleveland is one.
Cleveland is the best.
They get they get two quality game days plus the Friday, which is a six game day. So they
In
have
other words, they have the three days in 4 games, 3 games in 3 games in 4 days. I think I wrote it wrong. Not 3 days and 4 games. 3 games in 4 days. They have 3 games in the last 4 days, which is what we want.
Yeah.
Which is what we want.
I'm thinking of players you can stream from from Cleveland. Kevin Love, maybe.
Kevin Love, maybe. Well, Donovan Mitchell's
Okoro.
stat. I think Okoro you can consider. Yes, you can consider Okoro. Donovan Mitchell's status will be very, very crucial. We don't know if he's gonna be okay. If he's not there, I think Okoro becomes. Of course, Levert should be already rostered, so that's not already on the table. If that he would have been perfect for this schedule, but Okoro, I think you nailed it there. I think he's probably the best guy already. Not much else. Kevin Love, as you said, Love and Okoro, maybe the two of them.
Yeah. Indiana also have 4 games and two games on quality game days. And the Clippers, 4 games with one quality game day. They also have 3 games in the last 4 days. A lot of other teams have two quality game days: Memphis, Miami, Milwaukee. So yeah,
I will target these 5 teams. The Pacers have a lot of streamable players. If Nemhard was dropped,
they have a lot of streamable players not named Isaiah Jackson.
Yes, not Isaiah Jackson, but Nemhard could have been dropped. I know that because I myself have some Nemhard, and I was really at the last moment of dropping him before I decided to just keep him. So he could be dropped already, and he's a guy that I think should bounce back this week. And the Clippers have, well, I don't know how many games Paul George will play. So yeah,
they have Terrence Mann. I think Terrence Mann is the guy there that's streamed a lot.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of. There's not much Norm Powell on in the waiver wire, so I think he's the only guy there.
Batum. I think Batum has
Batum
has been getting a lot of minutes. I think some Marcus Morris has been dropped also. So for this week, at least the Morris becomes okay. Now the Memphis, Miami, Milwaukee thing, it really depends on the health situation. Giannis and Middleton are gonna be back, but how many games will they play? We don't know. So if they rest some games, there would be some stream players there like Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen. Miami, on the other hand, Caleb Martin. I've been seeing a lot of Caleb Martins available. I think this week he's a good add. Memphis is also more. If Brandon Clark is there in Memphis, I'll add him. I'll prioritize Brandon Clark.
Yeah.
I think he has been playing very well, sneakily and quietly.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the teams with good schedule in terms of streaming, and then some teams with good matchups. Minnesota, they have Houston, New Orleans, Memphis, and Sacramento.
Yes.
All fast-paced teams.
Yes.
Chicago, they have Atlanta, Indiana, Charlotte, and OKC.
Yes.
And Memphis, they have Sacramento, Golden State, Minnesota, and Indiana.
Memphis
Yeah.
is here twice. No, they have a good streaming schedule. They also have great matchups. Also, Cleveland also have matchups with Houston and OKC this week. So Cleveland also is a team with a good matchup that will appear here twice. But Minnesota, my God, that's as a good a matchup as you can ask for. Houston, Sacramento, the Pels, the Grizzlies, and these teams, Pelicans are banged up also. So it's not gonna be. I don't see There's not gonna be some blowout risk here. I think it's gonna be close. Hopefully, Rudy Gobert can come back.
Yeah.
for this
Fingers crossed. Plus, hopefully, Anthony Edwards plays all those games because he's been, probable or tagged as game time decision a lot of almost pretty much every game. So hopefully he plays every game there.
With the Bulls, I like it. And if you see our players to target, I have
Yeah, let's
Caruso
go
and
there.
Patrick.
So Caruso and Patrick Williams,
Yes,
couple of
right.
players to target. They've been rosterable, at least Caruso, if you need the stocks, right?
But they were dropped because of the 1 game week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that is what is perfect for this. You can add them and look at the matchup. I mean, for Caruso, he has Hornets, he has the Thunder, and he has the Pacers. Man, that's perfect for him. If he doesn't hit this week, we can't blame ourselves. We did our due diligence, and this is playing the odds for Caruso and Patrick Williams.
Yeah.
They're perfect.
And other players to target, we talked
Well,
about Levert, Nemhard, Naz Reid, in case Gobert still misses time.
yeah,
I know he's been struggling a bit over the past couple of games. Very disappointing. I know, those managers who maybe added him expecting big games. He's been disappointing, to say the least, in the past 2 games. But still, despite that, he's still a hold in case Gobert still misses time. Dennis Smith Jr., another player who many ran to add when Lamelo was injured.
so
Uh,
far
Lam-
not. So
not
far not.
Yeah, yeah. It's just been what, a couple of games, I
One
think.
game,
Yeah,
just
one
one.
game.
But in our live episode, we said that Lamelo's injury doesn't seem to be serious, and he's already questionable today. So
Yeah,
so it doesn't really seem serious.
yeah. Dennis Smith still just an ad hold and see what Lamelo's status is for tomorrow's game. And then Terrence Mann and Brandon Clark, as we mentioned a while ago. All right.
Some yeah,
Yeah.
just
You were saying.
just fast some injuries just to because we didn't have an episode yesterday. Just to round up a little bit of injuries. Aside from Nikola Jokic, the Marcus Smart injury is also crucial. I think it looks bad, so he might be resting some games together with Robert Williams, the hyperextension of the knee.
Yeah.
That's something to monitor. But he's questionable, so let's see. And also just shout out to Chris Paul. I love you, Chris
Yeah,
Paul.
Chris Paul
But
played
hope
and played well.
yeah, I, I for a
Hopefully,
change,
he plays, he continues to play and not
yes,
miss games, because without Devin Booker and with the
yes,
Suns struggling, I think he felt some sense of urgency for him to take over. And Aiton
yes,
did play
yes,
as well.
yes. Yeah.
Aiton is injured. Missed 2 games this week, right?
They missed the last 2 games. Cameron Johnson played 2 games, so Cameron Johnson is also back. I like Cam Johnson. I hope you were able to stash him. I think he's gonna be fine. So Chris Paul, I hope he does well. And then just one last thing with OG, the news about his sprained ankle. I think Precious Achua becomes a sneaky ad last week. If you
Oh
we
my, Precious
recommended,
Achua last week killed one of my
yes.
teams.
Why didn't you get him? We were talking about him in
I
our
got him
schedule.
in a few leagues, but though there's this one league, that I got really killed because of Achua.
59 points, 41 rebounds, 4 steals, and 5 blocks last week from a waiver ad. So, you listen to us. We do give some of these players that we think really
We
can
do
make a
get
difference.
lucky sometimes.
Yes. So OG's injury opens up him to be an even longer ad. No, we don't have to drop him for this week, which is perfect to save moves. So that is something to watch out for. Lastly, really the last one. Michael Porter Jr. The personal issue. I'm not sure if it's gonna linger because it's something serious. We know what happened. His brother was arrested for an accident where he killed someone. So let's see. This is something to monitor. The Michael Porter Jr. because also of Nikola Jokic hamstring. So if he's out, if Jokic is out, suddenly Denver becomes a little thin, no, in the front court. Yeah,
but still good, to be honest. I watched some Denver games. They've been really good over the past few weeks, and Jamal Murray is probably those who probably will slowly climb up the ranks, because I think he's just top 80 right now. Although over the past couple of weeks he's been top 25, top 30. So
hopefully
For the
Hopefully,
season, I think he moves up.
yeah, hopefully he can withstand more minutes and more usage with Jokic out, probably MPJ out also. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it for today's schedule analyzer. A quick one. Hopefully this helped you. I know it's a bit late, so we apologize for that. It was a busy weekend for us over the past 2 days, but like they say, it's better late than never. So hope this helped, and see you guys again tomorrow for a regular daily fantasy quickie. With that, have a good week ahead. Bye, guys.